franchise has been a real once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you and giving you lots of global success and everything else. Are you concerned at all about maintaining that same level of success as you go forward in your career?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, I think, I mean, if I could get any semblance of, it's not really anonymity, I think if I had a little bit more control over my public image, I guess, that would be nice. But, yeah, God, sorry, my brain's blanking. What's the question again?
Are you concerned about maintaining the same level of success because this is such a huge franchise?
No, I mean, I think it's impossible for one thing. I don't think anyone can do that, apart from Denzel Washington. Who just, I don't know, who's done something. Yeah, it's like, I don't really, like, it's a strange place where the film industry's at, where you can't, you know, you either, I mean, I guess you just play superhero after superhero, but that seems to be the only guaranteed big money thing. And I don't know, it's like, it's not necessarily that satisfying getting kind of monetary success, but sometimes it keeps the door open to make what you want to make, but other times you could make 5 massive hits in a row and still not get cast by the directors who you want to work with doing little movies. There's no guarantees. So I'm trying to kind of sign up and do movies that I'll be proud of as my last one. That's kind of how I think about it.
Rob, over here on the back. You said earlier when someone asked you what your perspective on this was, you said it's going to take about 10 years. You really don't know why people connected with it or what the connection is. I have a feeling you know that now. But I have a 2-part question for you. At the end of the day, are you glad it's over?
Some ways.
And what would that be?
Well, I mean, after the first one, when something becomes a big, when something's, as soon as people start referring to something as a franchise is a Burger King or a Subway. It's not like, and people start to say it. Generally, the people who are making money off it, like, refer to it as a franchise. They love it when something's become a franchise. But as an actor, I think it's scary. I mean, you really feel like you have no control. I mean, it's a huge juggernaut, especially when something becomes part of the kind of cultural landscape in a way as well. It's really scary because you can't, you get trapped and you can't, you get scared of changing, which is the worst thing that can happen if you want to be any kind of artist.
Hi, my second part of the question is, are you more famous in the UK than you are here? And if so, how?
I don't know, actually. I kind of, I think I used to be able to be in England and just be fine. No one had any idea that it came later in England. Now it's kind of relatively similar. I get a lot more abuse in England. What's that?
How do you mean?
I think that's just a kind of general English attitude. I did the same thing to famous people. Just as your instinct.
Hi, Robert. Over here. You really looked like a natural stepping into that father role of Renesmee. Like, what do you attribute that to, and how was that being a dad on screen?
I don't know, I just quite like working with kids and stuff. I like working with kids and I like working with animals, which is like what everybody says you shouldn't do. So it makes you feel like you're not acting. I mean, as soon as you have someone who's just providing stuff to react to, yeah, especially like working with a baby and everything, it's kind of, it's great. Every time they bring it, I would say put a baby in every scene. So you can put a dog in a scene, everyone's going to be better. And if they're not better, just shoot the dog. some good baby actors.
And by shoot the dog.
Either way.
Hi, Rob. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the vampires in this film because there's so many more, and the lore is much more present than in some of the past films, which are focused more on relationship. Which new character did you like? What powers did you enjoy seeing? And also, what's your favorite vampire movie? Just are you a fan too? Do you watch True Blood, or what are you interested in as far as vampires now that you've played one?
In terms of, I don't know. I like Blade. I really like Blade. I wish people would make. I mean, I was talking about it the other day about making a hard R-rated fantasy movie. It's completely irrelevant, but people should do that more. Who is my favorite character out of the new ones? I like. I'm not just going to be saying actors. I like Benjamin. Rami plays him. Mainly because he's a great actor, and he only had a couple of scenes in it, but kind of just like it's nice having actors who came who are really, really enthusiastic and kind of thinking, oh, this is a big deal being in like the Twilight movie, and like I've got these 5 lines and I'm going to like own them. And they've both got some great people. Who else did I like? God, terrible with names. What was the other part of the question so I can save myself?
Your favorite movies, or if you're a fan of vampires, if you're watching something now.
Yeah, I would. I haven't seen that many vampire things. Like, it's kind of strange. It's always been strange to me to be like, someone can say they're like a vampire fan, but like, I don't know.
You're a non-fan.
Well, I mean, I'm not a non-fan, but I mean, it's just such an unusual thing to be a fan of. It's like, I love zombie movies. I just love them. They're my favorite. It's more of a kind of psychological problem than being an actual fan.
It's going to be our
Right
last
here.
question.
It's been crazy 4 years for you and Kristen and Taylor. I'm wondering, do you remember back in 2008, the first time you met Kristen and the first time you met Taylor? And I don't want to throw Taylor under the bus, but he was just in here and he said he can't remember meeting you.
No, I can't. When did I meet Taylor? I met him on the movie, I think. And he was wearing his wig and stuff. I met Kristen at the audition. Yeah. What was the part of the question?
Just your first impressions, thinking back to 4 years when you were first meeting them and now knowing them so well now, were they right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit. I'm still just trying to come to terms with acknowledging being an actor at all. I mean, it reminded me a little bit, even with Taylor, he was like 15 when I met him. When I did Harry Potter, I remember looking at Dan, Rupert and Emma, and being like, well, those guys are actors, and I was like starstruck by them. I was starstruck by those guys when I met them. Even though I'd only seen Kristen in a few things. Yeah, it's kind of, it always sort of had this sort of separation. It's funny to kind of see people get humanized. Because with Dan, Rupert, and Emma, I still see them as kind of, I mean, I was with them for 11 months, I still see them as like massively famous people. Yeah, and it's strange to see, to have gone through the same experience with Taylor and Kristen as well, just kind of, it's massive, and to see people retain their sanity as much as possible. And yeah, I mean, because I've seen a lot of other people have minor amounts of fame and just lose their mind completely, but they didn't like after a casting announcement, let alone. And it's kind of amazing to see that people manage to maintain.
Thank you very much. Thank you.